story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Wednesday, 9:44 a.m. I know I was late, but last night I had rearranged the furniture in my apartment, and I just couldn't wake up this morning. I guess I had overslept. I was working the day watch out of Mathent. The boss is Joe Greco. My partner is George Franklin. My name is Tuesday. I'm a mathematician. We had become involved with an insurance company, Meglopolitan by name, an insurance company which was losing money on its automobile policies. We decided to look at earlier scenes to refresh our noodles because, as I'm sure you'll agree from your hot lunch programs, there's nothing as bad as a stale noodle.
There seems to be some unusual activity in our Greenwich Village office.
You sent for me, Madam President?
Mr. Dollar, these people are...
Meglopolitan's president said to us,
"Get me some results."
we were told there seemed to be some unusual activity in Meglopolitan's Greenwich Village office, but neither Mrs. Wilcall nor her crack insurance investigator, Johnny Dollar, had been able to find a pattern. George and I plunged into the data. My partner said,
"What about claims?"
Claims are up, significantly. Starting 4 weeks ago, and by a lot more than the 3% Mrs. Wilcall mentioned.
Maybe they're insuring a lot of bad drivers.
You mean the drivers have more accidents?
Maybe. Check out damage claims.
Strange. There's not much difference between the actual number of damage claims and the numbers they expected.
Then Meglopolitan must be losing their money on car thefts. Indeed. Look at that. The increase in claims is almost totally due to thefts.
We decided to pay a visit to the Greenwich Village office and see if Johnny Dollar could add to our store of knowledge. Mr. Dollar was a sharp cookie, and when I asked him about car thefts, he said,
I'm way ahead of you in that department, Ms. Tuesday. I'll pull together some figures that are going to knock your socks off. And once your socks are knocked off, then your shoes are going to be too loose, and then you're going to look like that short French painter.
What short French painter?
Toulouse-Lautrec.
Johnny Dollar was a hard man to keep focused, but he did tell us that 75% of cars stolen in New York were recovered within 4 days. George asked him about a particular chart, and...
What about the Greenwich Village office?
You're a real bulldog, aren't you?
Not so good. We see the increase in stolen cars.
Plus the fact that over the last 4 weeks, hardly any have been recovered. Back at the office, we noticed a couple of facts. Nearly all the stolen cars insured out of the Greenwich Village office were new cars. And then our friend Stanley noted...
And a lot of them expensive.
Then we found another anomaly. I asked George where he would keep an expensive car if he had one.
In my bedroom, under my pillow.
I know what you mean. You'd rent a garage for it, right?
Right.
But none of these cars was stolen from a garage.
They're parked in the street?
Yep.
A lot of things in this case defy logic. Are you sure those wheels are the right size, Stanley?
No, Mr. Franklin, but it's all we've got to work with.
Hand me that wrench, will you, Stanley?
Here you go.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Oh, hi, Pat. What we're doing is...
Confecting a new bike.
Out of old parts.
Very old parts.
So I can still enter the Wimpus.
Good morning, Mathenters.
Morning, Captain. What's up?
A message from this morning. Catherine T. Wilcall called.
Wilcall called?
Wilcall called. So, call Wilcall.
We can't call Wilcall.
Why can't you call Wilcall?
Because the dim bulb that took Wilcall's call didn't get Wilcall's number.
I took Wilcall's call.
Maybe Wilcall will call again.
Mathnet Tuesday. Yes, Mrs. Wilcall.
Wilcall called. So, let me know if I can help.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Yesterday, I asked Mrs. Wilcall to send some material over to us.
What kind of material?
More data about the Greenwich Village office. She said Johnny Dollar will be here any minute.
Special delivery for my two favorite mathematicians.
Minute.
From yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Thanks, Mr. Dollar.
Had any luck?
Luck?
Yeah, luck. You know, coincidence, chance, good fortune, happenstance, serendipity, gamble, hazard, risk, stake, fate, destiny, accident, karma, kismet, lot, mazel, providence, bonanza, boon, blessing, gain, miracle, windfall, or gosh end?
A little, yeah.
Hey, Pat.
What do you got, George?
The data Mrs. Wilcall sent us is more than we need. Policy number, owner's name, address, age, gender, make, model, year, color, vehicle ID number, claim history, sales agent, everything but favorite food.
That's the beauty of computers. You can just take the information you need.
Hey, where's the third dart?
There's only 2.
There's supposed to be 3.
2.
Is there anything in this data that's useful?
Wait just a tick. Maybe. Mr. Dollar, answer me a question.
Question me, question me, question me.
How many sales agents would you say there are in the Greenwich Village office?
Now, what was it you were asking?
About how many sales agents would you say there are at the Greenwich Village office?
Oh, I'd have to estimate...
Uh-huh.
Well, it would only be a guess, you understand.
Sure.
I don't know what the exact number is.
I understand.
I could look it up.
Just a rough figure.
Well, I'd hate to be held to it.
Just an approximate number.
Maybe 19 or 20.
Close enough. The point is, all the policies on those expensive cars were sold by one agent.
25 tops.
Who?
Someone named Flush.
Flush?
Flush wrote all the policies on the expensive cars. They were stolen, and none have been found.
George, I think we now know how these thefts are related.
Maybe. This Flush may have had some kind of scam going on.
Not Casper Flush. I mean, I know Casper Flush, and if you think Casper Flush is a crook, you are dead wrong. I served with Casper Flush, and Casper Flush is no...
Nevertheless, Casper Flush sold all the policies on those expensive cars. I think we should talk with him.
Good idea. This could be a Mathent first.
First?
Yes. This case could be solved before Friday.
Benny, could you give a couple of mathematicians a lift?
Sure. Keep up the good. Keep up whatever you've been doing, Stan, my man.
Okay, Mr. Pill.
Well, I've got a dash. Remember, if there's anything else that you need, please don't hesitate to call.
We'll let you know, Mr. Dollar.
Should we call Mr. Flush?
No. Let's surprise him.
You mean scare him, don't you? I feel sorry for Stanley. That bike is never going to work.
Probably not.
But you can't tell. He may get it off the ground after all.
He'll have better luck getting it off the ground than he will riding it on the ground.
And remember, maybe the police will find his bike. It's not impossible, you know.
Not impossible, but not very probable. There are more than 150,000 bikes in Manhattan, Benny.
And stolen bikes aren't up on top of the priority list.
Okay. You tell him. You guys break the kid's heart.
Come on, we're just being realistic, Benny.
How may I help you?
I'm Pat Tuesday. This is my partner, George.
Frankly,
Mathent.
They're very nice.
We'd like to see Casper Flush.
Do you have an appointment?
Is Mr. Flush a busy man?
Very. But Casper Flush will be able to see 2 renowned mathematicians.
How do you know?
I'm Casper Flush. Follow me. Now then, what kind of insurance would you like to buy from me? A fire insurance?
No.
Auto insurance?
No.
High winds?
No.
Low winds?
No.
No winds?
No.
Flood?
No.
Drought?
No.
Flood or drought?
No.
Gee, that's about all I sell. You want to go to the cafeteria for some coffee?
No. Mr. Flush, we'd like to talk with you.
About?
About your recent insurance sales.
Uh-huh.
You've been pretty successful lately, haven't you?
I should hope to whistle I have. I've sold more than my quota.
How do you explain that? Have you changed your sales approach?
Oh, I'm just my same old dynamic self.
Are you making more calls?
Not really.
Your boss must be happy with you.
Yes, except, well...
Mr. Flush, what does one have to do to get auto insurance?
When a person buys a car, he gets a bill of sale from the car dealer. Before he goes to the DMV,
Department of Motor Vehicles.
Uh-huh. And registers the car with them, he has to prove that the car is insured.
How does he do that?
Well, he comes into my office, or he calls me with information. I tell him the price of the kind of insurance he wants to buy. He writes me a check, and I give him a receipt.
For the premium, the cost of the insurance.
You're very good at this, Mr. Frank.
Lee. Frank Lee.
Oh, Frank Lee, you're very good at this, Mr. Frank. Anyway, the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, gives him his license plates, he puts them on his car, and away he drives.
Except in your case, soon after the happily insured motorist drives away.
The car is never seen again.
Yes, isn't that maddening? And my boss isn't that happy with it either. Let me tell you a mouthful.
Mr. Flush, can you explain how it happens that zero of the cars you've insured recently have been recovered by the police?
No.
Can you explain how most of your recent policy sales have been on very expensive cars?
No.
Can you explain why your office is showing such a huge increase in claims?
No. I'm not doing very well, am I?
No.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Flush.
Pat, my belly button tells me Casper has got to be involved in this situation.
Mine feels the same way.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to call Mrs. Wilcall.
More info?
More info. We should look at the actual documents involved in these thefts. But you know, the closer we get to a solution.
The farther away it seems.